All right, welcome on back to another episode of First CSP, the channel dedicated to bring you the first council shoulder patch issued from each council in Scouting America, both past and present. Today, we remember the Alamo with the Alamo Area Council 583 out of Texas. This council was originally formed in 1925 as a name change from San Antonio 583. First couple of issues can be confused with one another, so we're going to take a look at those today. Hopefully be able to differentiate those for you. This is the first issue T1, defined by its red border, yellow background, red letters, and most specifically, 3 bricks in the second row. So if we look at the second row here of the Alamo, we've got 1, 2, 3 bricks. That is what defines the T1 and differentiates it specifically from the T2, which we'll show you in just a moment. This is a traditional gauze cloth back on the T1. Not as many of the T1s made, so these can be a little harder to come by. And then the T2, very, very similar. Same red border, yellow background, red letters, but then we look at the second row of the dome and it's going to have 2 bricks, not 3. I'm going to see if I can move this up so we can still see it and slot in a T2 right underneath. So here we see the 3 bricks in the second row, and on a T2 we just have 2 bricks. Obviously, in looking at these next to each other, we have slightly different color reds here. We have slightly different color browns that were used. But again, in isolation, if you only had one of them by themselves, the coloration difference comparisons might be slight enough you wouldn't be able to tell. But then you just look right at the second row of the dome, and you're going to know precisely whether or not you've got a T1 or a T2. There's kind of some length differences between the two as well. Obviously, the T2 looks just a little bit longer, and the T1 seems to have slightly rounder corners. This also was a gauze cloth back on the T2. And then Alamo Area, for many of their issues, continued with this same theme on subsequent patches. We have a couple of those to show you as well as they went on. But here is the T1 first issue and the T2. Again, the difference being the 3 bricks on the T1 and 2 bricks on the T2. The T3s then added a fleur-de-lis at the center. The T3 actually had 3 variations, A, B, and C. A, which you see here, had a type 1 fleur-de-lis, and then T3B and C, which we don't have to present to you today, had type 2 fleur-de-lis. One was orange-red, one was red. Between the type T3B and C is primarily a difference in coloration there. This T3A happens to be a plastic back. We know we get to T3s once we start adding fleur-de-lis. So whether or not it's a type 1 fleur-de-lis like we see here, see if I can tilt that up. Sometimes you can see the thread is just all vertical there where it catches the light. The T3B would be an orange-red border instead of orange and orange-red type 2 fleur-de-lis. And the T3C would be back to a red border, red type 2 fleur-de-lis. The next patches released were S4s, the silver mylar, kind of different from what they had on the original patches. And then we go back to the S5, so kind of reproducing that same theme, but now in a fully embroidered patch. So this is the S5. The S5 defined with 2 bricks in the top of the dome. They then made an S6 that just has 1 brick in the top of the dome. This S5 happens to be plastic back. And we'll go back finishing off, just highlighting that first issue, T1 with the 3 bricks in the second row of the dome. Again, one you don't get to see quite as frequently if you're out there searching for it. If you're looking for one, I hope you find one for your collection. It is a great one to have, and that is Alamo Area Council. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. Remember, we're back every single day with brand new episodes, debuting first issues from councils across the country. If there's one you'd like to see that we haven't highlighted yet, feel free to drop that in the comments below. We'd love to get those up on the channel for you as we go through all the councils that have produced CSPs since 1970, essentially, and some of those pre-1970 issues as well. We've got some great playlists should you want to look at specific areas of videos that we've highlighted, whether it's the Sunday special, pre-CSPs that are from prior to 1970, or CSPs that have known reproductions and you want to try and make sure that you're getting the real McCoy as opposed to a reproduction or an unauthorized reproduction fake. You can check those playlists as well. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Love having you guys here every single day. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.